Here we go, rightio. Another lovely Tuesday evening here in the Broadcasting Lounge. We're coming to you tonight from the lovely Winton race circuit in Australia. It's round 7 of the SimLab V8 Gen3 Championship here at SuperCars NZ. It's Doug and I'm joined tonight by Shane. How are we doing, Shane?
Yeah, good, thanks, Doug. Excited to be putting some V8s around a track that real V8s have raced at in real life, and a very popular circuit in Australia, although not so popular among some of our iRacers here, but they'll go out and have a blast around there for a couple of heat races anyway.
Yeah, heat racing format tonight. Have you got any info on how long those heats are going to be for us?
Yeah, so a 14 lapper to start off, and then we're going to have a 20 lap feature race where we're going to flip the top 10 around to set the grid for that one.
Wicked stuff. And speaking of gridding, the cars are doing that thing, so we'll cut over to race ready camera and see what's going to happen. Our number one qualifier, Darren Lobb, hasn't gridded up yet. I wonder if he's going to play the hard game and start from pit lane. Nope, there he goes. Quickly just pushed him out there. Must be getting pretty close to lights coming up. 9 more seconds, we should see those. Welcome back to Leon Weir, sitting there in third spot, just ahead of Jared Eccleston. Should be a nice one to watch the race get underway.
Pretty even off the front, low, down low, getting the better second stage though, pulls away, sweeps across into turn 1. Tight battle between Leon Weir and Jared Eccleston for P2 and P3, but Leon able to jump ahead at turn 1. Seen Peter Vanderberg's name dropping down the order. I thought he might have gone around. Oh, there's a moment there for Bruce Tannock, is it?
Yep.
Yeah, Bruce into the gravel.
Oh, man.
Oh, and there's big drama there. Billy Rowley getting turned hard left into, I think, turn 5 there.
Yep.
Heaps of gravel on the circuit there as well, being dragged back on. Darren Lobb leads from Russell Pepperell early on in this one as they get down towards the closing stages of lap 1 into the final sector now.
Yeah, no change here for the top 5 positions so far. Jumping on the roof here of Stephen McCartane, sitting here in 5th spot. Jared Eccleston, Megan Turbo entry up there, just getting a wee bit early on the gas, wriggling around a wee bit. Tyres just haven't come up to temp quite yet. Leon Weir sitting in 3rd spot where he qualified, just ahead of Jared, and pretty evenly matched for spacings between these guys. In the top 5, just back from Stefan, and closing in on his tail we have Dion de Graaf there, up 2 spots from where he started. Look at all that shingle that's been dragged in out of turn 3 there.
Yeah, so that was a result of a few cars going off there. We saw Bruce off and we saw Billy Rowley off, and there was someone else that was caught up with Billy Rowley that rejoined. Pretty much had no choice but to rejoin straight onto the racing line and just dragged a whole lot of gravel back on.
Yeah, it was pretty intense. I see there on the data screens that we've had a car eject itself to the pits, Derek Lovegrove, but no sign of safety car. So usually the boys, if they've come a bit unstuck or are unable to carry on racing or tow to the pits, they've got to do that request through to race control. So Not too sure. Have you got your radio chatter on? Have you heard any calls come through from malicious driving or incidents taking place?
I actually hadn't had my chat on. I've just turned it back on because it is helpful to be able to tune into that, but I normally have it off for streaming purposes, so I didn't hear anything. But yeah, Derek Lovegrove has jumped to the pits. I have a feeling he might have just forgotten about the request to tow rule. And actually, I think he was potentially more thinking about just getting out of the way because he had come to a stop at the exit of turn 2, pretty much
Right.
on the racing line.
Okay. Well, we'll have a quick look back at what happened with Bruce Tannock here off the start and how he managed to wind up in the weeds. So Stephen McCartan and Dion de Graaf around him. He's just come across the nose there on Dion. The overlap was obviously there, and Dion didn't need to move, so it's a bit of an unfortunate one there for Bruce, and you can see the amount of track that he's dragged back on there. We also had Billy Rowley and Michael Jones having some time off there. Oh, another unfortunate one there. There was a bit of a tricky one, wasn't it? It looked like one of the DC entried vehicles, which was not Darren's, bringing itself back onto the track, and there was no room for poor Billy.
Yeah, so I would probably judge that as a racing incident. Just a case of he got some overlap there, but that fully flawed car had to try and get around the car that was coming back on, and he just didn't recognise that was about to take place. Peter Vanderberg there having a moment at turn 4 as well.
Yeah, if you see, I'll go back again. He's actually got touched up by his teammate, put into that sticky pick position there. So
yes, which of the Misfits car was that made contact then?
I would say possibly maybe Derek. If Derek's under Misfits, I'm just trying to have a look. Could be completely wrong. Maybe Trent? No. It's hard. I can't pick that one at all, sorry. You might be able to better chance of deciphering that one.
Yeah, I can grab the freeze frame on my data, so I'm having a look back at what I can pick up, and it looks like, Glenn Collinson. So Glenn's gone for the pass on Blake, just sent it too deep, and unfortunately when he arrived at turn 4 there, he had nowhere to go to avoid running into the back of his teammate.
That really sucks.
It really does.
Trent Bennett having a wee moment on the opening lap right before it looks like he's gone in and taken a pit stop. So we'll see what happened with Trento here. Okay, no, he's fine. That will obviously just be him, that data coming up, just be him slowing down for that corner coming in. So false information on the crash data there.
But interesting, taking a pit stop in the 14 lapper. I'm not sure. I can have a look how much fuel they've got available to them tonight, actually.
Oh no, and here's another moment. Adam Marinovich, there, getting unstuck and turned around a bit further down the grid. And then there's also another moment here, Michael Dowell. That's a awful place.
Oh, good save though, and then he's just cooked the rears or got in too deep because he was unsettled at 2 and just unable to get it pulled up at 3.
Yeah, I'd say he's just caught himself off a wee bit, just trying to wrangle that machine back under control, and he's run a bit deep there. Anyway, let's have a look back at our live data and see if there's some things happening there now. So out the front, it's Darren Lobb over Russell Pepperell, KSR entry. He's still ahead of Leon Ware as they come across the line for their 7th lap. Stephen McCartane has managed to get past Jared Ecclestone, so we'll have a look and see if I can find that data here. Here is Stefan getting past Jared. Oh, yep, that would do that. Jared getting his tyres up on the curb, bouncing a little bit just off on the painted line, back up under the gas and getting into that big slide. And that has allowed Stefan, who was in control, to walk on by quite smartly.
Yeah, those 3 hairpins up the top of the circuit where Jared lost it into the first of those, they're a tricky spot. They were a very tricky spot on the old Gen 2 car. I haven't actually raced the Gen 3 car around here, but you had to get the Gen 2 into first gear through those corners to get it rotated. I'm not sure whether it's the same deal with these cars, but I do know that if it is, getting down the gears to achieve that, especially when you're pretty much turning all the way through that braking zone, is not going to be an easy thing, because these cars are very tricky to handle on the downshift. Very easy to get that rear locking going on.
There's a lot of turny, controlly, accelerator stuff happening at this racetrack.
Yeah, absolutely. I think previously when we've been here with the Gen 3s, we watched an onboard lap and commented just how little time you spend with the steering wheel actually in a straight line. So Dion keeping it in second gear there, so that clears up what I was questioning there, where no, you don't go back to first gear, which is what I expected, to be honest. Just because, as I said, the more gears you try and go down in these cars, the more likely you are to get that rear locking. But it will still be a struggle to get it turned, and I do wonder whether Jared was maybe going for first gear to try and get a bit of extra rotation and locked the rears, or just got in too deep and lost control because of that, rather than necessarily what gear he was going for.
It's amazing how quickly a lap does tick by. Is there a bit of chuff ahead, or was that just my imagination?
I wasn't actually paying attention at that very moment, so I couldn't tell you.
It's okay. I could swear I thought I saw little puffs of smoke, but I don't see any of the cars ahead of them here under duress. So, but speaking of duress, I see Peter Vanderberg and Billy Rowley have both gone off track at similar timing points. So let's go and have a looky at that and see what's happening.
Oh.
That's that's actually a bit of a hard one to pick from that angle, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I'm just trying to have a little bit of a look at it in a bit more detail. So I can see that Peter got loose on the curb. Yeah, it's a tricky one. He sort of seems to keep going left after he's gathered it up, but he's sort of only just gathered it up and probably not confident to put some more right lock into it to try and straighten up quickly. So
Yeah.
that's a hard one.
Without the possible intention of exiting stage right again in a hurry.
Yeah, absolutely. Haven't heard anything across race control radio on that one, so in fact, even since I turned my chat on, I haven't heard anything all race, so I'll just make sure I've got that set up correctly.
Yeah, pretty. I mean, yeah, we've certainly seen a few things happen. I wonder if just with the nature of the track or tonight's racing being heat racing, unless it's clear and obvious, they'll just look at addressing some of that later on. I'll quickly make a mention to our race week sponsor as well there, Shane. We've got Sync back on board with us, taking up on another week's sponsorship.
They sure are.
And I can see here, thanks to our good mate Corey, that he's given us the wee blurb, the wee old blurby about Sync. So I'll do my best to harness my inner Corey and sell this moment. So Sync is a managed service provider based in Auckland, and they provide IT services. Everything from user support to building complex network solutions. And here are some of the services that they provide. Everything included from desktop support, server support, network design, cybersecurity, disaster recovery, voice over IP, and included AI consultation. That'd be a big one moving forward. So it says gear up for an electrifying experience courtesy of Sync. We're not just your MSP, we're your partners in progress, injecting tech magic into every aspect of your business. From lightning fast solutions to cyber security fortresses, we're here to catapult your business into the future. Join us, let's make some tech waves together. And to check out the website www.sync, that's SYNQ, sync.nz.
Yeah, and while you were reading that, Billy Rowley and Blake Greenhill weren't quite in sync in the background on the shot. They had a bit of contact, and Billy almost got turned around as a result, but he managed to get straightened back up, and they both carried on again.
There you go. A quickly replay of that moment.
Also, actually, I stand corrected. There might not have been contact that initiated that. It might just have been Billy's dirty tyres after he came back on. There was certainly contact at the end of it to help straighten him back up, but I don't know that there was any contact that caused him to go sideways there.
Yeah, it looked like it was just under the old momentum there of said car getting back onto the gas.
Jared Eccleston putting the pressure back on Stephen McCartan, so he will be pleased with that. He had a fantastic battle with Stefan last week and
yes,
almost got the better of him. Just came down to a final corner incident that was put down by race control to a racing incident.
Yep.
And he's continuing that on and actually able to put pressure on Stefan in this one.
we go. I was having a quick look there at the chit chat. So evening to you there, Nico, and we've also got Chris there from Racecrafts, and then Pato's joined us saying, "Let's go, Sean van der Molen." He's joined back in into the season and back into the Div 1 group. He qualified 10th tonight. He's up 3 spots currently into P7. Do you know, are they doing a reversey toppy 10 thing for the heats?
I did cover that off. Yes, they are.
Oh, very good. Well, thank you for clarifying my deaf ears when you've already spoken to everyone about that. But just for anyone at home that missed it just as much as I did, thank you once again, Shane.
No worries. And to be fair, people could just be tuning in that missed that at the start. So yes, there is a reverse top 10 for the second race. So currently Jason Cosley is going to be holding down the reverse grid pole position, and they are on the final lap now as well.
They are indeed getting pretty close to the end. So yeah, Jason with Daniel ahead of him, then Roger, Sean sitting there in 7th, Dion also up 2 into there, and the rest of them are just there. But across the finish line now, one Darren Lobb, first place, qualified there, and he's always proven to be pretty quick here, as we remember from the Gen3 series. I think he likes this track secretly. Russell Pepperell, KSR entry, Kiwi Sim Racing, brings it across the line in P2. That'll be a good one to watch those guys under the reverse top 10. Leon Ware doing Leon things once again in 3rd spot. Well done, buddy, and good to see you back out there having a chew on the steering wheel. Stephen McCartan moved up 1 spot into P4. Watch that battle between him and Gerald Ecclestone as we head into the reverse top 10. For that one, Dion de Graaf, Sean van der Molen, Roger Forbert, Daniel Heddershot and Jason Cossey make up the remainder of our top 10. Just outside of it, Jono Gibson, he had a wee bit of bumping and grinding through the race. He did make up 4 spots there to get to spot 11, just not being able to quite move forward into that infamous 10th spot to then go into the reverse grid moving forward. But how about Scott McKenzie there, up 12 spots to finish in 12th? What a charge.
Yeah, it's a pretty epic drive there, coming through from, I guess, 24th to move up to 12th.
Yeah, that's pretty big. So it'll be interesting watching those two just outside of the top 10, both Scott and just passed by his name, Jono, the old 666 entry there. I reckon they've got a pretty good shot of following those guys through possibly a wee bit of elbows out racing from our boys have been ejected to the front of the grid. We will know very soon. Just under 4 minutes to go here on the warm-up. See who might be out there doing some skids. Oh, we've found one. Safety trucks out there doing their thing. Aaron Goodrick and Sean McNamara.
Yeah, good to see Race Control given the chance to have a blast in the trucks.
They're always a hoot to watch, aren't they?
They really are. They're such good fun to watch them go around, having a blast, bumping each other, cutting corners. Plenty of fun.
I'm certainly not going to sell it too strongly, but if anyone wants to see the GTEs take a break over our summer of fun, and we bring to you truck racing on a Thursday night, from everything from tarmac through to clay, mud, jumps and all of those other kind of things. Feel free to put your votes in on the community page, or feel free to type those yeses into the live stream now and I'll start tallying them up. Oh, look, first comment. Shane White, yes. Oh, how funny. Oh. What's that? Wayne Bloor, trucks are out. Oh, is that out of here or just that they're out on track? But I've always had a great time when we've got together and done some fun racing in the trucks. They are an absolute hooter of a thing to go and have a scream around in. There we go. 2 votes in, one from Chris from Racecrafts and one from Mr. Whitey himself.
Well, since you put the words in my mouth, I felt like I might as well actually put it in there, because that would be great fun, wouldn't it?
Would, and I reckon that'd be a nice way to relax for the summer series.
We've been joined by Wayne Larkham.
Yeah. Not much action. Not much action that round, but another race to come. So feature.
Yeah.
Well, there's plenty of action, but it didn't sound like there's much being called in.
Nah, lovely little bump and run by was it Jason Cossey? That was yeah. Race control were happy with that. They did a really good job. He was getting slowed up, so yeah, just a little tap, just to unstable the car in front and get past. And I think it was about halfway up the track. He already had 8 car lengths on him, so he was really getting slowed up. So
Wow.
yeah. Hard case call.
Good. And how do you find yourself this evening there, Wayne?
I find myself well, Doug. Yourself?
Very well. I haven't fallen asleep yet.
Oh, that's handy.
That's I've got to get a wee bit of reprieve after the last 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. We know you're a busy man, so yeah.
Here we go. Here's the.
Good, look at this drag race.
Yeah.
Oh, here
20,
we go.
20 seconds left. Oh, I reckon the jump start there by the boss.
Yeah, Winton's got a drag strip in the middle of it. Good fun.
Yeah, I reckon that was Sean was calling the 3, 2, 1 go, and he probably went on 2 there.
Yeah, definitely.
He doesn't even know what his own number is, eh?
The incident with Dion and Bruce was racing incident at the beginning there, so
Oh, cool.
just
Yep.
letting you know the outcome.
Nice. Yeah, we I asked Shano if he had the ears on, but they were painted once again.
And an official dude would let you know the car numbers and all that sort of stuff. But
Yep.
yeah. All right, I'll shoot back down to race control. You guys have a good call, eh?
Awesome. Appreciate you popping in there,
Good
Wayne.
night.
All good. Have fun. Enjoy.
Will do. Not very often we get to be graced by the boss man. It's still nice to see. He certainly still sounds half passionate. I didn't hear any ice clinking though, Wayno. You could up your game a bit, mate. Right. I'm trying to find cameras. This will do. That one. So, ticket time about ready to drop. Jason Cossey, Daniel Heddershide, Roger Forbert, Sean van der Meulen, Dion de Graaf, Jared Eccleston, Stefan McCartan, Leon Ware, Russell Pepperell, Darren Lobb is your top 10. The engines are revving, the lights are dropping, and they are underway.
Yeah, looks like Daniel Heddershide getting the better start off the front row, and he's going to lead them down into turn 1. There's some 3 wide in behind. Darren Lobb has got an absolute flyer. He was challenging for P6 up to P7 already, and might still get P6, but he's on the outside of Jared Eccleston. Oh, he's already cleared Stefan McCartan that we're on board with, and Leon Ware in front of him, and Stefan just getting hung out to dry a little bit there, and he's got Russell Pepperell to his right, but he's going to have the inside through the sweeper and should manage to hold him off.
this is what we like to see. Opening lap, everyone getting underway, having a good bit of fun. And I was going to say cleanly, but just as the word was about to leave my mouth, there's been a bit of drama towards the back with Billy Raleigh and Blake Grenhall. Oh, as Russell goes round. And that's a horrible place to be parked. He'd be best to try and hook a hook spin to the right there, but he's had to wait. Wonder if he'll call anything in on that one, but that's a bad situation. He's dropped down now 12 spots from that small incident. We're going back and keep an eye on our boys towards the front here and see how they fare. Shano's just having a bit of a listen to see if anything's getting mentioned.
Yeah, I can tell you Blake Greenhill has put a call into race control. I haven't been able to pick up who he felt might have done him wrong there, but he's certainly put a call in.
Right, I would take maybe a guess at Billy, because there's the data at the same time, but that's certainly not to say that there wasn't a third party involved. We will be able to have a bit of a look back on that shortly, but while the racing is still being hotly contended here, we can say Daniel Heddershide leading the race so far. Next back from him is Sean van der Meulen. And thank you to Zoe for joining us in the broadcasting lounge and cheering on Sean. Back from Sean, we have Jason Cossey in the Diesel's Limited vehicle, as it was again the hunt on coming down into the braking point for turn 1. It's probably because he's trying to push the car here as Dion de Graaf looks for an eyeball down the inside. Taking a second look at that now. How's that run? Doing pretty darn good. Roger Forbert, 5th spot here at the minute. Keeping it nice and steady. Listen to the control of the throttle on that car.
I've just been having a look back at some of those incidents. That Russell Pepperell dropped it all by himself out of the 90-degree left-hander that they're making their way through now.
Mm-hmm.
I would say crash data with Billy Rowley and Blake Greenhill, probably the one with Blake there is worth looking at.
Cool.
And it is Billy and Blake involved in the same incident.
Yep.
And then there was also, in the background as we picked Blake up there was a little bit going on with Adam Marinovich and Michael Dell. So if you pick up the data with Adam Marinovich following Blake's one there, that would be worth a look as well.
Adam's one going off track with Billy crashing around it.
You should find Adam Marinovich crashed just a few lines down.
Yep, I see that one.
Blake's off track.
Yep. Cool, so deciphering that, we'll have a look there. So here was the first one mentioned about Russell Pepperell dropping off the side. Sorry, we mean turning it round by himself there, which was what we were on board with at that beginning. So there's that, and go back.
Russell just caught out on the dirty line there and probably tried to squeeze the throttle a little bit much, trying to hold on to that position and just lighted it up there.
Rightio, and here we have data for Billy and Blake, which was right before I was about to say that everything's going smoothly.
Yeah, so Billy getting pushed over that curb a little bit and then going a little bit deep, tried to take evasive action, but unfortunately made contact with Blake and just turned him around there.
Oh, that's a bit interesting, the jerky data. Interesting, okay, so I'll skip out of that for a second. There's Adam Marinovich. That was the one that was just ahead of Blake and Billy's incident. Was that was involving Michael Dell, wasn't it? The other party member there.
Yes, I believe so.
I think that was that one, and then there was just one more here, Russell Petrol crash. Actually, that's a double up. So it's populated twice here for some reason. Okay. So last bit of data, lap 3, Tony Lynch having a moment going off track here. And yes, as he's gone and decided to put the big hoof into the right hand squishy thing, and around it went. A little bit of assistance there to vacate the track.
Yeah, rear locking on the way into the corner there, and once it started going on him, he just couldn't get it back, and got a little bit of an unfortunate help there in going around, but yeah, I don't think that could really have been avoided as there was sliding across the track there, across the nose of another car. Darren's just come across a roadblock in Jared Eccleston here. He got into P7 through the first couple of corners and hasn't been able to progress any further since.
No, and I would say that he's probably just being cautious, biding his time. Looking at the time and lap data, the 6 laps into 20. Will they need to take a bit of a splash?
I'm not 100% on that one. I can tell you they've got just under 60 litres available, so that equates to about half a tank. But I'm not sure how far half a tank will get them.
That's right. Well, we will certainly soon tell. No one at this stage has had to take a run through the pits for any reason. Looks like Darren's finally been able to make a move down the inside of Jared, and Stefan trying to do his best to get involved with that one as well. Leon poking the nose up what's the inside now outside of Stefan, so these boys certainly not giving up on wanting to try and get further forward just yet. Darren now being unleashed from Jared. It'll be interesting to see how he gets on with Roger and Jason.
Thank you, Terry Taylor, there for the information. Shouldn't need fuel, wouldn't use more than 2.5 a lap going flat out. What I can probably add to that as well is I did see Darren Lobb asking about any compulsory pit stops in the text chat during the warm-up, to which Jordan replied, no compulsory pit stops. And the fact that Darren was asking about that would tell me probably he's thinking he can go the race without stopping, so he was making sure he didn't have to stop, working out his strategy there.
Alright, jump on board with the winner of Heat 1 and see when is he going to give the old accelerator pedal a snap and a push to see if he can sneak up the inside here. Nope, you're going to wait a while. Saw the way he'd hung back and re-angled himself. I wondered if he might have been looking at giving it a wee bit of a looky, but Roger just sitting a bit too central to the track to make that happen. As you see him doing a good job of not making it easy for Darren to get by there again, positioned mid-track. Darren giving him the smallest of nudges.
A little bit of connection dramas for Roger there, as he's just blinked a couple of times. So hopefully that doesn't continue, because it certainly isn't nice following a car that's blinking and jumping around.
No, that's correct. But looking okay now, so let's see how Darren lines up these next few corners. I reckon he might take a nudge at the last corner that I referenced. I think that might be around about turn 6, where it just comes through that quick wee left-right into the right-hander hairpin, just up through here. You push onto the gas now, and will he make a... No.
Oh.
Not this time round either, so... And we saw Darren's... Darren's car there just about to break loose.
Yeah, he got a snap of Otis there through that sweeper, and I think that just cost him the momentum that he needed to have if he was thinking of making a move where you were talking about, which I think is turn 7, the first of those right-hand hairpins.
Yep.
Yeah, turn 5 is the sweeper, I think turn 6 is the little right-hand kink, and then turn 7 is that hairpin.
Quite a neat little battle pack here. And just joining the end of the top 10 number there is Bruce Tannock. He's managed to come up 4 spots into P10.
Yes, I got recovery from him after that lap 1 incident in the first race. He obviously got back to P14 and carrying on into race 2, he's managed to pull himself into the top 10. And with the reverse top 10 grid, and a track that is very tricky to pass on, it's keeping that top 10 very compact, and he will be keen to see how far through he can get once he gets onto the tail of this next train of cars.
Yeah, it's what I am again really surprised. You know, we saw Darren takes quite a while to manage to size up Jared and get by, and he's having about the same amount, if not just as much difficulty of getting around Roger Forbert. And we know from the past where Roger usually sitting not far outside of the podium. He is a seasoned racer. He knows how to put the car on the podium.
Oh, here we go, he's got the run, he's looking to the outside, gonna switch back, no, just tucks back in behind into turn 1.
I'm almost wondering, is Roger now starting to compromise himself a wee bit by defending? What's that going to do to his tyres? He's working that car a little bit harder, having to sit in the middle of the track rather than utilising the majority of the left and right where he can, and you know, just getting into those wee bumps and grinds every once in a while, or having to try and get on that gas just a little bit sooner. Darren now saying, look, come on, enough's enough, and getting up right alongside him and giving him a big biff there on the right rear corner, but still not enough to get that done. And
But it's triggered a check up that's allowed Stephen McCartan to get down the inside on Jared Ecclestone, but Jared's still there into turn 9, I'm going to say tentatively. I think that's right. But Jared just able to hold position there, and that's Leon Ware that's going to look around the outside on Stefan, not able to get that one done.
Yeah, I think that was more positioning so he could keep the run moving forward rather than checking up behind Stefan, but it did leave him a wee bit compromised on the outside, that he wasn't able to get on the gas as nicely as he wanted to, or else he would have been taking an unplanned entry into pit lane or across the grass.
Yeah, what we saw there with that move from Darren is a big part of why this track is so hard to pass on, because he was able to force it down the inside into 6 there, but wasn't able to get the job done in 6, and it gave Roger the inside line into 7, which enabled him to get back clean ahead and hold on to that one. So
Indeed.
Darren's going to have to see if he can get it a little bit more authoritative than that. But it was certainly a very strong move to force his way down the inside into 6, but still not enough.
Mm-hmm. So, top 10, Daniel Heddershide, after starting the race, moved up 1 position into top spot. Sean van der Meulen there up 2 into spot 2. Dion de Graaf also up 2 into spot 3. And then we've had Jason Cossey and Roger Forbert full 3 and 2 positions. Darren Lobb now sitting in 6 up 4, with Jared, Stefan and Leon all dropping down 1 spot each from where they started. And then Bruce Tannock bringing up our top 10 and up 4 spots currently into that one. Gonna have a bit of a look outside of the top 10 at some other data that I've seen pop up. There's a Tony Lynch bit of a drama here on lap 7. It's in not so happy noises coming from this car. It's actually started quite a bit earlier and he's brought it into pit lane, so let's see if this is where that triggered a bit of this. Yep. And that would be enough just to make things a wee bit unhappy at the rear of the car, I imagine. Michael Dell here also having, oh no, just coming into pit lane. So
Oh, he has crashed on the way in though. It was behind the catch fence, so you might have to try and find a different angle on that replay, but it did look like he clobbed with the tyres on the inside of that corner and then bounced into the tyres on the left.
oh, yep, at least he was coming into pit lane there, and the boys could give that a bit of a quick repair.
Oh, Darren's just got the move done on Roger Forbert.
Alright, let's have a look there. Darren passing Roger.
Gets a good exit off turn 2, nicely glides it down the inside into 3 and completes it at 4. I will say I'm not quite sure how we was able to use that much curb on the exit of 2 without throwing the car in the air, because that's what always happens to me if I try to use anywhere near that much curb there. But he made it work.
Go. Sorry mate, was there someone else you wanted me to have a quick look at? I was just momentarily distracted.
No, I was just saying I don't know how Darren was able to get away with using so much curb on the exit of turn 2 there. Whenever I try and put a car anywhere near that position, it seems to throw it up into the air, but he obviously has done plenty of laps here to know exactly where he could place the car and not have that happen.
Yep, it's usually for me anything involving turn 2 is greatly greeted by the wall on the outside of turn 3.
Yeah, that curb seems to think you want to turn yourself into a motocross rider.
Yeah. Yeah, it sure is. There, Nico, the field is still so very close. Lap 15 of 20, and our top 10 still within a few hundredths of a second of each other. It's just trying now to find the ones who are either getting a bit fatigued or the cars are getting a wee bit tiresome on the tired tongue-tied tyres. Did that work? Did I do that?
I think so.
There we go.
It made sense to me anyway.
Give us a thumbs up if that made sense to you. Here we go. Some close battles again. Change between the camera. Roger and Jason getting amongst it. Those other boys, man, they were absolutely hounding over that that motocross ripple strips there. They put the fair wobbles up into me. I just can't do it. The more I try to stay away from them, the more it's like the magnets are turned on, drawing me in.
Yeah, it seems to be that sort of a corner, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think the only car I probably feel safe in going around this track would be one of the like the Pro 2 safety cars, safety trucks, should I call them? How's this though? This is just insane. These boys here, they've been battling the whole time. 9, 8, 7, 6, and 5. Leon, Stefan, Jared, Roger, and Jace, all continuing to be glued together. Oh, I was just about to say, I wonder what's going to be happening there. Leon obviously deciding that he had caused the issue and redressing there to Stefan. I'm going to say he might have, from what I saw, he might have given up a little bit too soon on that one. Let's have a look back from the Steve Darren Jigsaw chopper cam.
Yeah, I did hear Leon call across an apology there as well, so he was checking up to redress that.
So he was
Stefan
certainly
has
late.
Ooh, yeah, probably not quite up far enough and didn't make the apex either, so.
Yeah.
But he's redressed it, so I think Race Control will be happy to leave it at that. It didn't impact anybody else's race, so yeah, I think Race Control will be happy to leave it at that, given that he has redressed it.
Cool. Thank you, Steve, for lending us your Jigsaw chopper once again for the stream. But hey, at the end of the day, it's one of those things. Either Leon's just caught himself off guard a little bit and thought, well, I'll position myself here rather than just piling straight into the back of him, or he thought this could be close enough to give it a go, and we'll see what happens. And if you're not giving it a go, are you racing?
Yeah, that's right. What was it that Edwin Senna said? If a gap exists and you no longer go for it, you're no longer a racing driver.
Here we go. Ooh. It's good to see even the boys outside of the top 10. This is Darren Lord, Michael Jones, and Trent Bennett all having a good time battling each other there. Overlap there with Glenn Collinson and Russell Pepperell. Russell hasn't had a very good run through the second part of the race since falling out of the top 10 there at the beginning. He's just slowly been going a bit further and further backwards tonight.
So news through from Race Control, and I called it that they would be happy with the redress from Leon there. I was incorrect. They have dished out a 5-second penalty to Leon Ware. That's going to be added to his time post-race.
Oh, okay.
Although he's actually come into the pits now, so he might take the opportunity to get that out of the way in a pit stop.
Or doing a drive-through, maybe? Not sure. Lap 19 of 20.
He's only got 2 incident points, so it doesn't look like a drive-through. He has stopped in his box. Goes up on the jacks.
It was just a post-race 5-second time penalty.
That was definitely what race control called in.
Okay. Alright. Maybe he thought he's had enough playing for tonight anyway, because he's certainly doing a lengthy stop there. But lap 19 of 20, Daniel Heddershire got into that position there right near the very beginning of the race, and he's certainly stuck to it. Sean has either been very comfortable or very matched in his position of being able to make any gains on Daniel. I don't think that gap has really changed too much at all either. And likewise for Dion. But looking at their best lap times and their previous lap times, I'd just say that these boys are only one small slide or drift away from giving up a position, and it looks like none of them want to play that game just yet. Darren Lobb has been slowly bringing that margin in, but I don't think he's got enough here on the final lap to get himself up onto the podium. But said fat lady hasn't started singing just yet, so we'll see what happens there. Jason Cossey still just keeping that gap there over Jared Eccleston, who's now got another blue and white car of Bruce Tannock's sitting there. Managed to get by, obviously Stefan and Leon dropping out, and then Scott McKenzie there 9th and 10th, but here they are coming across the line. Well done, Mr. Heddershire. Great bit of racing, very clean. Well done to Sean. Thank you for joining us this week. Literally just joining us this week, and coming into tonight's Div 1 race and being able to get inside the top 10 and sitting there finishing second for the feature race. Well done to Dion. Nice third spot podium. Darren Lobb, Jason Cossey 4th and 5th. Roger Forbert and Jared Eccleston 6th and 7th. Then we got Bruce Tannock finishing in 8th. Scott McKenzie and Stephen McCartan were 9th and 10th. Cool, fun bit of racing. Wonder if anyone's going to line up on the drag strip around over the back. Dion doing some drifties. Peter Vanderberg may be the only one there lining up for a bit of drag racing. So there we go. Nice burnout there by Adam. Oh, there we go. Peter. Will anyone join Peter? No, I'd say no. So all by him lonesome, going for the big run down the drag strip. Will he stop at the end? Or will it be like Willy Wonka's glass castle? No, he's decided to bring this Misfits entry back to the pit lane in one piece. Ah, there we go. How about that there, Shano? Round 7, our Div 1 boys, the SimLab All Ports Championship.
Yeah, very exciting. I've just been a little bit quiet because I'm trying to invite some of our podium finishers to come into the waiting room for a chat. Unfortunately, I was a bit slow to get Daniel. By the time I messaged him, he's already left the server. So,
Okay.
Daniel, if you're listening and you want to chat, feel free to jump into the waiting room in Discord because you definitely deserve to get on stream and pump up some of your sponsors off the back of that one.
Very much so. And speaking of sponsors, certainly will make another quick shout out to this week's race sponsor. Once again, it's Sync. That's SYNQ, Sync, and they are here to bring you the managed service provider from Auckland, giving you the IT solutions from user support to building complex network solutions, from desktop support, server support, network design, cybersecurity, disaster recovery, voice over IP, and AI consultation. They are going to help you gear up for an electrifying experience, courtesy of Sync. We're not just your MSP, we're your partners in progress, injecting tech magic into every aspect of your business, from lightning fast solutions to cyber security fortresses. We're here to catapult your business into the future. Join us, let's make some tech waves together. Check out the website www.sync.nz. So massive thanks to them for jumping on board once again. Doesn't look like anyone's joining us there, Shano, so might be a good time to wrap it up. Give us a wee rundown of what's happening on Thursday, and we can get the flock out of here.
Yeah, well, we've seen some very exciting racing tonight at Winton, and great to see Daniel Heddershire and Sean Vandermeulen, after starting near the front on the reverse top 10, able to hold on to those positions and pick up a couple of good results. Well done to Deon de Graaf as well, getting onto the podium there. As far as where we're off to on Thursday, well, we stay in Australia. We go to the mountain with GTEs. That is going to be very exciting. Mount Panorama Bathurst in GTEs. I can't wait for that.
That's going to be an absolute steamroller there, and as we said, we're really keen to see if the boys can keep those absolute monsters of machines pinned as they climb up the hill and up over the top. And that'll be a sight to see. We're ready to see some quick times, and we're ready to see our boys contending the podium for the championship to get stuck back into it. It'll be some very cool racing to tune into here at the Broadcasting Lounge. So if you've stumbled across us and you haven't yet subscribed, go and chuck yourself down for one of those. You'll get the old prompt to say that we've gone live, just to remind you that we're there. And you can listen to some other cool yarns from the likes of myself and Shane and Corey, and sometimes an infamous Wayne.
That's right, and I've noticed a question from Dylan Radford in the chat there directed my way. And to answer your question, Dylan, all going well, I could potentially be back on track next week.
Woohoo! That's very cool to hear. Do you think you'll obviously your Div 1 driver, will you go in there and try and upset the championship? Who's shouting you the cheeseburgers for the end of season there, mate?
To be honest, I'm thinking it's been a while since I've been in the seat. I probably would do well with just running in Div 2 for the remainder of this season to get my eye back in, and then see what I can do next season.
Yeah, I suppose you should go and jump into Div 2 and give yourself a bit of a confidence boost with a win there again, eh?
Absolutely right. I'll be absolutely stoked if I can do that.
Very good. Oh, well, we will certainly see what happens with that moving forward, and yeah, it would be good to see you back out on track doing your thing. So hopefully Corey's around and about for that one and feeling better. Thinking of you, mate, once again. And Shano, thanks for joining me here in the lounge. I'm going to sign off for tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure for all the viewers that have joined us. It's been Doug, Broadcasting Lounge. Cheers, Shane, and we are out.